Another update. Let's take a look at PulseX over here. I'm very bullish on PulseX and I think it's going to do very well in 2024. It is one of my favorite coins to chart, and the reason for that is because we have a lot of underlying strength when we're taking a look at all of the price action that we have presented to us. What we see is the creation of your coin. We have a significant rise and then an over 90% dump from there. And this is no different than any other coin. Every crypto coin does this. You have the creation of your coin over here, and you're either going to dump after the creation and then you're going to pump, or you're usually going to see, what you usually see is the creation of your coin, a pump, and then your dump from there. And and then your structure starts from there. Now, however this structure starts after this pump and dump phase is over is very telling on the health of that asset. Sometimes you have a very lackluster performance after this phase, and you'll have a lot of consolidation and then more downside. Okay? Or sometimes if the structure starts healthy from there, then it's likely it's going to be a very high performing ROI play. So right after this phase completed, right after this pump and dump phase completed, after the airdrop, we went ahead and started our 5 waves to the upside right away. So that was very impressive. Moreover, what we see is a rounding bottom pattern. So whenever you see the start of a coin and then the structure starts to round, especially if we have over 1 year of history, that's a very good sign. And usually it's the start of a very parabolic-like move to the upside. Okay, and the law of exponential growth states that at the beginning you're going to have very slow gains. So let's say for example, this is your parabola right over here, and then this over here would be considered your price. So at the beginning you have very slow gains and the price is very scattered and volatile in regards to the market breadth, right? But then as time progresses, you're going to see price become more volatile to the upside, but more predictable, and the price goes faster. So the price is very scattered as we're at the start of the parabola, but then price starts to speed up as time progresses. So this is the law of exponential growth, and we see just that over here with this rounding bottom pattern. Now, this rounding bottom pattern, it does have the technical target of a little bit over 1/10 of a penny at 0.0012. I really do think that it's going to go there. So now, if we were to just simplify that, right? If we were to just simplify this technical target and say that, okay, this over here is our structure, right? If we were to just flip this structure on its head, it would come to this technical target over here. So I think that's very likely, right? And we already do see 1 million wallets in the ecosystem, and it's only been out for over a year. We see a lot of growth on chain. If you go to gopulse.com, I believe, or gopulse.org, you can check out all the statistics there. So let's go back to this analysis here. Back in September 2023, when we bottomed out, we did have a 5-wave move to the upside, and this fifth wave came up to the 50% fib, which is a common target for a fifth wave in the Elliott Wave theory. It came up to that 50%, 61.8% fib region, and then this over here marked our wave 1 high with the ending diagonal. So what an ending diagonal is basically you have the waves overlap each other to mark the end of your trend. So this ending diagonal marked the end of our wave 1, and then we came down for an ABC correction. Now within this ABC, so within your A wave, you're going to have 5 waves. So we had that over here. We had our 5 waves, and then and similarly to that of this first wave, this ending diagonal marked the end of your wave 1. Or the end of your trend. So it was marking the end of your uptrend, and now we see an ending diagonal in the C wave. Therefore, it's marking the end of the downtrend. So you see the similarities. I think ending diagonals are a very great opportunity in the market and to capitalize on. And the reason for that is because any bids that are taken within this ending diagonal, if you're able to spot consolidation in kind of like this tug of war like action within the C wave of a wave 2, I think that it would be a very profitable trade for you. Okay, so we have an ending diagonal here. We have 3 waves within each of these waves. And it looks like once our 5th wave came in for the overthrow of this pattern towards the macro 70.2% fib. Okay, so all we did to find this target is take a fib from the very low, so from the very bottom of the trend up to the high. The price came down 70.2% of the way before we saw that nice squeeze to the upside and reversal. Okay, so now we're currently above the median, and on the daily time frame we do see a bearish shooting star. So we must assume that this over here is a local top until price comes back up to breach it. Okay, so price would need to come back up here in order to invalidate the scenario in which this is a local top. But so far we are breaking down from that level. So it wouldn't surprise me we have a little bit of a throwback here, maybe likely towards the median of this ending diagonal over here. Okay, and all I did to find that target was I took a fib from this level over here, so from the throwback after your initial advance to this high. Okay, this is how I found these fibs over here, and this is where bulls would want to accumulate, right within this region over here. Right over here, and this region right here. Okay, so you can make it very simple for yourself. Just place boxes on the chart. You can just visually take a look at this ending diagonal and see where the price touches the most, or where the price respects the most. And we see this level over here, the price respected it the most, and this level over here within this ending diagonal. And you can also use fibs for extra confluence. Okay, so after it comes down here for a little bit of a throwback, I think we are going to continue our trend upwards for your wave 3, which would likely take you a little bit over 1 cent. Okay, and then we have a wave 4. Okay, this is where a lot of people get shaken out over here within this wave 4. This is just an estimated trajectory. We'll definitely alter these waves and targets as the price develops in the Discord. So if you guys haven't joined the Discord, please click the link in the description below. After this wave 4 comes to fruition, it would likely come down 38.2% of the way from the bottom of this leg, which would be around a 70 to 80% dump. Now, that's not something out of the ordinary when you see a pump like this, especially within the Richard Hart ecosystem. Like in Hex did over 1,000,000%, and it had multiple 70% dips along the way. In every one of those dips, you had a lot of people being shaken out, but I believe that you must stick with the trend. So if the trend is still, even if it were to dip here like this, the trend would still be upwards. So remember, we have 3 phases in the market. I know I said it in my last PulseX video, but I just want to reiterate that you have 3 phases in the market. Within this phase, everyone who's entering within this phase are early adopters, okay? And over here, these are your people coming in mid-curve, and then within the 5th wave over here, you have people coming like the late adopters, okay? These are all the late adopters. And you want to be selling your bag to these guys over here, okay? To these late adopters. Now, a lot of a lot of people who get in over here within a coin, they rarely make it over here because there's so much peaks and valleys along the way, or peaks and troughs along the way, that they get shaken out, and most of them don't make it up here. Okay, so the whole goal is to, the whole reason I'm showing you this is because when you're able to split the market up in threes, you can perform better, and if you take profit within both of these phases, then you should be okay. Okay, now let me see here. So from current prices, or let's just say, okay, so let's say it comes down to, okay, let's say worst case, let me see something over here. If I take a fib from the very low here, okay, so if it came down to this 61.8% fib, or this 50% fib over here, to, let's just say it went to this 2.618, measured from the left side of our rounding bottom pattern down to the bear market low, that would be about 57,000%. And then if it went to the 2.886, which is a little bit over 2 cent, it would be about 100,000%. Okay, a little bit over that. So yeah, this is PulseX, and then if we go ahead and take a look at the MACD over here, I think it's a very significant indicator telling us where the trend is headed. When we take a look at this 3-day time frame, we do see that it's rounding off here, and it started to really round off as we were oscillating within this ending diagonal. When we take a look at the MACD on the weekly, we have this right over here. Okay? We have the histogram turning towards the 0 line, and the MACD MAs are about to cross. Okay, so very, very significant. Moreover, when we take a look at let's take a look at the price oscillator. I know I've seen it works very well with PulseX. When we take a look at the price oscillator on the 12-hour time frame, we were seeing bullish divergence all throughout this ending diagonal. Okay, so I think that's very significant, and all the indicators are turning up on the high time frame. And remember, high time frame always takes precedence over the small time frame. So for example, if we see right now that this is bearish, that doesn't necessarily mean that the chart is going to go to 0, because this high time frame that we see here takes precedence over this small time frame. So I think it's very important to always zoom out, and especially know what you hold. So I hope you guys enjoyed the PulseX video. I do recommend taking profits all the way up, and click the link in the description below to access the Discord, so you guys can stay up to date with all of the Richard Heart ecosystem coins, because all of these price targets and analysis is subject to change. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Peace out, and take it easy. See you in the next one.